everybody. Welcome this evening to our panel called Black Voices. Let's begin by listening to one another's personal stories. We can gain insights into our own beliefs and those of others and come to new understandings of the issues we face. By sharing our personal experiences, we can learn more about each other as individuals and about how we have been influenced by our racial or ethnic origins. We can also shed light on our different perceptions and understandings. Some ground rules. We're talking about some personal experiences and life stories. This can enter into difficult dialogues and understanding. I would like to create a respectful space for all of us to feel safe to talk about anything that comes up. With that being said, we can have these conversations in a respectful manner and even challenge each other to think in a different way. One rule, let's talk in I statements. It helps us to stay respectful and have learning moments. Does anybody have any other suggestions for ground rules? Okay, so panelists, thank you for participating today. We'll start off with, can each of you introduce yourself? Tell us about yourself, where you're from, how you grew up, maybe about your family and your community.
Okay, I guess I'll go first since it's age before beauty. My name is Cynthia Jacobs. I was born and raised in Greensboro, North Carolina. I had all my major upbringing there for 25 years. And after that, I decided to go into the United States Army because I wanted to, see the world, have some adventure. I have 3 other siblings besides myself. I am the oldest, and I was the only one that ventured out. What else can I tell you? I attended college at A&T State University in Greensboro, North Carolina. I am a registered nurse. I am here on a travel assignment, and that's how I got to Montana. I wanted to see what was created on this side of the map, so here I am.
Hey guys, my name is Charles Lanton. I'm on the men's basketball team, and I'm originally from Cameroon. I was born and raised in Cameroon, and I've lived there for 16 years before I moved here to the U.S. I have 4 siblings, all girls, and I moved here to the U.S. in Texas with my twin sister. She actually goes to a community college down in Texas, and for the past, right before I moved to the U.S., I had an uncle that has been here before me, and he gave me a really big piece of advice that really stuck to me, and it actually stuck to me till now. He told me before I leave, he said, Charles, before you come to the U.S., expect a lot of racism. So, the first thing I told him was oh, I already know what racism is, so he just told me just expect a lot of racism, and I just took off to come to the U.S. So I ended up high school at Byron Nelson, and after I came here to Dawson Community College, I ended up here in Montana.
Mike, originally from South Sudan. Lived there for 5 years. Came to Australia. Growing up was kind of different, but I got used to it. I got 6 children. I got 6. I got 6 brothers and sisters. I got 2 sets of twins, and I got lucky. I got a twin. And then Coach P emailed me a few years last year, as I ended up in Brenda.
What things in life are most important to you?
Family to me, because that's what really got at the end.
And I must agree with him also. Family is very important. Family first.
For me, I'll say God first because that's someone like I always put ahead of me and everything. And then I got my family. I got my twin sister I really love, all my siblings I really love, and then I just got basketball that I really love too. So I got God, family, and basketball.
My son keeps wanting to come up on screen.
That's okay. We can get a
She
chair.
loves all of the attention, so I apologize for it. But yes, family is very important in my life as well. What has been what has your experience been like being black in Glendive and at DCC? Is it different from where you grew up?
It's the same, really. I've noticed a difference. It's the usual stuff.
Okay. Well, since I'm the ancient one of days here, there is a great significance for me. I was born in North Carolina. Of course, I was introduced to racism there. Um, and it was very difficult. It was a very hurting experience um, being black. Just being black in the South was difficult. Um, you guys, this is way before your time. I remember when the first movie came out, Roots. When Roots came out, oh my gosh, it was absolutely horrible for black people in North Carolina. You know, this is going to get kind of personal, but I'm going to tell it because I think you need to hear it. When Roots came out, I remember even being spit on in my face, just walking down the street. And I was a young adult. I just didn't really understand, you know, the hateful, why, you know, people were so hateful because of the color of my skin. When I came, well, in the United States Army, you don't see that much of that because it's just like a melting pot being in the service. So I didn't really experience too much of that. When I came to Glendive, I was very, very shocked because even though I've traveled up and down the East Coast and seen a different part of the world, I had the opportunity of being in Germany. That was an experience. But when I came to Glendive, I was just shocked. Reason being because I'm used to seeing people of color, some color, some color. That's what I'm accustomed to. So when I didn't see any people here of color, well, it didn't shake me too much because I'm a pretty grounded person. But I was like, wow, this is really going to be an experience for me. And it has been. Overall, I can say, as far as racism, I haven't seen that much of a racism in Glendive, and I can't believe it because I am really a minority here. But it's amazing the comments that I get. Oh, we're not used to seeing your color here, or we're not used to seeing colored people here. And that just, we weren't raised around colored people. And first of all, color, who uses that term anymore? And it's just shocking because to me, being a Black American woman, you know, it's a form. I take it as a form of ignorance. You know, there's not any diversity here. You know, and that is amazing because there's some great people here. I love Glendive. I've only been here a year, but I tell you, I have met some awesome people here, and there's so much room for growth. I don't know when that is going to happen here, but I believe in God that it will happen, that change is coming and change needs to come.
For me, like Mike said, I've never experienced any type of racism or prejudice here in Glendive. I really appreciate the Glendive community. Just going to Albertson and like just having the community just really supportive. They they're just like really open-minded. They like try to ask questions. They don't judge in first appearance or any kind of stuff like that. So just being here in Glendive is it's really different, just like back in Texas or in Cameroon, because in Cameroon obviously there's no white people, we are black, so I've never been, I've never experienced racism before. Even back in Texas, ourselves really never experienced racism. So coming here in Glendale, like she said, like I expected there were gonna be like a lot of white people and stuff, and I also like in my mind I thought, okay, I'll probably get some racist comment here and then, but I've really never experienced any type of such language or any type of things like that. And I think it's really important that the community respects uh, us as black athletes here because uh, a lot of people, a lot of athletes here, especially on the basketball team, are black. So knowing that there are black athletes in the basketball team and other sports, that just shows them that we uh, we just come from all different places and we just share a common goal. So I just really appreciate that communities were supportive and accept my background and who I am.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
As he said, and I also had stated, you know, you don't see the racism and you don't hear it, but you can, well, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I can tell people are shocked. You know, it's just like, there's a black person here. What do I say? What do I do? And you know, that to me is just like so amazing. Um, I've even had people ask me, you know, well, today my hair is green. I don't know what color it'll be later, but it's naturally gray. And I've had comments, you know, how does your hair turn gray? As if my hair turns gray differently than a white person's hair would turn. I'm like, really? You know, it's really, some of the comments I get is really amazing. But you know what I like about it? When I am confronted with questions like that, it is done on a respectable level, you know, and I love that. I love that. I just wish as a people that, you know, not just Glendive, but the whole world, you know, with just people, it shouldn't really matter. I mean, being here is just like, I just can't explain it. It's just a shock for me because uh, people are just not used to seeing anybody of color, and I just find that so unreal, so unreal. But we're all just people, you know, and I just don't understand why we can't get that. I'm no different than you are, you know. My color's different, but we have the same thoughts. We speak the same language, and you know, being here, I feel like, well, this is the United States, but why do I feel like I'm in a foreign country, you know? So,
So, piggybacking off that a little bit, what are some ways to pursue some authentic cross-cultural and cross-ethnic relationships on campus or in our community here? Yeah. What are ways to pursue authentic cross-cultural and cross-ethnic relationships on campus and in our
I think that is going to be, that would definitely be a difficult thing to do because, first of all, I think you have to have a draw. You have to have something that is going to draw, you know, other cultures here. Um, that's that's my feeling on that. I mean, Glendive, wow. I mean, wow. That's all I can say. You know, I just think there needs to be more. The community just needs to be built up. I think there's just not enough, from my point of view, and I'm from a little town. I think, but this puts it on another level. So I think there needs to be something here that would draw other cultures here. I mean, when I tell people I'm in Montana, they're like, "What in the world made you want to go to Montana?" But you know, I'm an adventurous person, you know, and I want to see different things. I want to experience different things. So maybe if there were, I don't know what those activities or businesses, you know, what that would be. But, you know, when you look at Glendive as a whole, I mean, what is in Glendive? What is in Glendive? Dawson College. I know that. I know that there, and I just found out about the college that was so close. I never even knew that. I mean, really, a couple weeks ago, I just found out the college was right down the street. Now that shouldn't be. I've been here a year almost, you know. So, and what else have I found here? Oh, I love the mountains. Oh my God, I love it. God has done such a beautiful thing here. There's no mountains.
Yes.
Hills, he says. I call them mountains. He says hills. But I love that. But I don't know. I think maybe more advertisement. I mean, all I know about is the park. Um, Thank you, because I was going to say it incorrectly. Thank you. And I've been there, and it's just so beautiful. But for Glendive itself, I think there needs to be some things developed here that would draw the people. I mean, you have the college here that draws the young people. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. No, I have not seen that yet. I'm supposed to be going there, but I just think there needs to be maybe more here in Glendive.
I think the school has done a pretty good job trying to talk about like and raising Black History Month awareness. Like we did at the beginning of this month, we had and it's still going on. We have the art show that's going on there in the library, and I actually have some pretty. I think Jennifer Wheeler is the one responsible for doing the art project, and it's pretty much a lot. I think a lot of the other projects were made by some of my teammates. So of course it's Black History Month, and I think most of the art that were made from from Black people, and I think it's really cool that they just like they just did something to show that we are part of this college. They could have simply just put any random art project there and just say, "Oh, go watch." But they put a lot of Black history stuff there, and I actually have one of the pieces there that I just made like this. So the project I did was like a collage thing, and it was just an African lady that had a pot on her head. And I wasn't the one that named the art piece, but Jennifer actually named it the African Queen, and I think it's pretty cool. So I think the fact that she actually recognized it, it's actually like a art piece because I was just making an art project. I didn't have nothing. I was just having fun doing an art project. But the fact that she actually recognized that it's something from my heritage, I think it's pretty cool. And the fact that we have this panel tonight, and that at least some people actually care enough to show up. I think that's really important to me. I think it's important to other people too.
Answer it all, like, otherwise you can pass it as well.
Yeah, we could add some stuff here. Like a shopping center or something. Like movie theater that show you what movie.
Movie theater is what one year ago. Kind of going back to the draw piece that Cynthia was talking about, If DCC and Glendive has excellent race relations or had excellent race relations, what kinds of things do we see in the community, here in the community feel?
You're saying what kind of relationships are we seeing here in Glendive as far as?
If there's excellent race relations in a place, such as at DCC or in Glendive, what kinds of things do we see in that? What kinds of things do we hear about or feel?
Oh wow, thank you. I can't speak from the college point of view, but being in the community and I work in the hospital here, I think, wow, I just have such a great relationship with everybody that I come in contact with. So that's why I think, I mean, if we could get people to come here, people would love it here because I can't say it enough. The people here are beautiful. I love Glendive. They just don't have the shopping centers and malls, which probably keeps more money in my pocketbook. But as far as race relations, I don't see how, because the people here seem to be so open. I think they would be open to change, open to building, open to relationships, because I see that. That's what I see being in the community in Glendive.
I didn't mention this before, but the main reason I also came here to Glendive because when I was discussing with Coach P about like signing here everything, the main point like he told me was that like he lived in Africa for 11 years with his wife. So I think that's something that really stood out for me. Like, okay, I know like I can play for this coach, knowing that he has experienced a little bit of what I've gone through. Like, well, not experience what I've gone through back at home, but he knows a little bit about the background I've grown with. So having that type of relation with my coach, knowing that at any point of time during the school day or whatever, I know I can go see him and just be open-minded and tell him that, like obviously I've never experienced any type of prejudice or discrimination in Glendive, but knowing that I can go see him and actually discuss stuff like that with him, it's just like that part of communication that I really like about Glendive, and I think I can, I, don't, I think I've discussed a lot with other teachers too, and I discussed with John too. Like they're just like really open-minded and willing to listen and just understand different people' point of view. And I think last year, I don't know if y'all remember Mr. Shimani. He did like a he did like a black meeting conference here. Yeah, I was a meeting, a black meeting conference with a couple of the black student athletes here in Glendive, at Dawson. And it was really interesting. Like he just asked us a bunch of stuff, like if we ever experienced any type of microaggression and any kind of like racism doing our particular sport or anything. And me and my teammate Mike and like some of my teammates that were here last year, we all said no because we just never seen that kind of personality from Coach P. We all know that he's a very humble person and open-minded. So I think I have a pretty good relationship with most of the community here, and especially the staff here.
Yeah, I would say being on the basketball team like really helps. So when you're out of the mainstream, like people recognize you and stuff, they treat you with the utmost respect. So yeah, I would say being on the basketball team does help a lot with that.
Who or what is the most influential Black individual or experience in history that has influenced you?
I would say my mom. She was a single mother. She raised 6 kids on her own. Like she moved us to Australia and then she held it down. So I would say her, 'cause I learned everything from her.
Can you repeat or a little louder?
I said my mother.
Okay.
Yes.
You said it was influential. Stuff. You wanted to say Kevin Durant, but I'm not gonna say it. I'll probably say my dad, but I'm actually going to say LeBron James because throughout last year, and I mean, for most of my teammates that know me, I don't like LeBron to be honest, but I don't hate him either. But I really just appreciate how he stands up for what he believes. Because last year, like we done, the black community has dealt with a lot of tragedy and other stuff, and he hasn't been afraid to speak about it, even like using his social platform to speak about it and everything. And for me, it was just a little bit kind of hurtful that people. Um, the reason I like LeBron is just because like people say better than Katie, but some people actually don't like LeBron because they don't like what he's standing for. So let's say let's say he obviously like didn't he didn't appreciate some stuff that was going on in the NFL or even in the NBA and all this kind of stuff, and he actually stand for. And I know a lot of people that were just like thinking, oh, he should just shut up and dribble. So I think he's pretty he's just pretty awesome for just standing up for what he believes. He can just be like any other athlete and just say, well, it's not my business, let me just let it roll. But he actually stand up for what he believes. So I think that's the most influential person I know the past couple of years above my dad.
Okay. Since I'm the ancient one, again, that is a very tough question. My mom, I must go back to my mom. My mom was the greatest. She made me who I am today. And she gave me strength to stand, even though she was a humble person. She gave me strength to stand. But as far as Black Americans in history, I cannot say that I could pick just one. I just cannot pick just one. Because when I look back on the history of Black Americans, anybody that made a difference, you know, I give my props to, because if it wasn't for those individuals and some that were not even recognized in history, you know, we would not be where we are today. So I cannot name one. Sorry, it's just so many, I cannot.
What are some of them that come to your mind first?
Oh, well, I think the first person that came to my mind was Rosa Parks. She was the first person that came to my mind because she went through, you know, being on a bus, demanding to get off, but yet she took a stand. And she was the first one that came to my mind. And we want to fast forward it. I am so proud of Obama. I'm so proud of him that he was able to go through what he went through and come out unscarred. You know, being in the present. You know, but a lot of the Black, how can I say, those that I look back in Black history, everybody took a stand. They just took a stand. You know, and I think that is an awesome message for us, not only as Black Americans, but just Americans in general, just to take a stand for what is right, for what you know to be right.
With all of the different people that come to your mind when asking that question, how important then is Black History Month? And what would you like Black History Month to look like at DCC or in Wendike?
Before I came here to the US, I've never heard of Black History Month because I mean, back in Africa, we're black, so it's Black History Month for me literally every day. It's every day. So, like, the concept that we had like a Black History Month here for me was just a little bit weird because I just never understood why, like, we just had, I mean, I've made my research and, like, learned a lot about Black History Month and why we actually celebrate it, but I just, like, never understood why we just had, like, this 1 month that we could just, I just never understood why you just had this 1 month in the whole year that we can speak about black lives and black history. So, well, I I I, I really like it, but I just don't understand why it's just delegated for just 1 month. But the fact that we actually speak about it in high school and college, it's pretty awesome, I guess.
Oh boy. Gosh. I mean, it's Black History Month, but you wouldn't know it. I mean, on a college, yeah, you're gonna know it. But if you were to sit somewhere or be anywhere in this community, would you know it? No, you would not know it. Not in Glendive. You know, I love what you said. You know, in Africa, it's black everywhere. You know, and it's, you know, that is just a normal thing every day. But here in Glendive, it's not that every day. It's the total, complete opposite every day. And, you know, for Black History Month here, um, maybe you could have uh, in your restaurants or in your coffee shops or on the street uh, something that says Black History Month. You know, this is Black History Month, somewhere to let the community know, hey, it's Black History Month. And I'm sure everybody here knows it's Black History Month. But what does it mean to you? You know, what does that mean to you? Or does it mean anything to you?
That's it. Um, what is the hardest part for you personally about discussing race and or racism?
Probably like thinking people won't understand you. For no main reason, like, or like they don't care, things like that. So yeah, that's what I got.
I think for me it's just that um, a lot of people just already assume they already know everything about. Yeah, I think a lot of people just assume they already know everything about racism and that, or it's just been like you just discriminate someone on the race and everything. So like the hard thing is just like having like action audience to speak about it, like actually having a friend or anyone just coming to us and not like start a whole conversation about racism and stuff, but just willing to just have like a open-minded just topic related to it, like about what happened last year with all the murders and stuff. Not necessarily about racism, but just about like the little stuff that came before that. Because not just like you just wake up one day and oh racism just appear like that. Like it's been going for many years and yeah, it's a little bit tough that we we just thought that we can just talk about this one time. I'm pretty sure it's like the only time we're gonna talk about it this month. I mean, so I wish you just like actually have like a little more just that we just talk more about it like I don't know other regular audience with other people and not just have like to have a large group of people to talk about it. Actually have to talk about it with one or two people, not just a whole group of people to talk about it.
I was going to say that for me, um, I really don't get into too much discussion about racism here because when, wow, um, nobody really talks about it to me, but when it comes up, it's the most awkward. It's just like unreal. You know, when somebody tells me, oh, I like the color of jewelry you have on because it looks good on dark skin. What? You know, or the reason that we don't talk or speak the way that we want to is because we're not used to colored people and we just don't know what to say. When somebody makes those kind of comments to you in an open body, it is difficult to have a comeback because my young people, they don't know really about racism. I know about it, experienced it. And so when that is put to me, I just have to just give an off comment to divert it because I'm like saying to myself, what do you mean you like the way that looks on me because of the color of my skin? What is that? You know? So it's difficult to talk about the racism, but I'm telling you what I love though. I do have people that I can say, you know what? I can't believe that person said that. I just can't believe it. Because there are people here that don't believe that either. You know? How could they have the nerve to say something like that to you? You know? And it's just amazing to me, I guess because I'm a people lover and I don't see color. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm naive, I don't know. I just don't see it, so I don't understand it. So it's not easy to have those kind of conversations. If somebody was to say to me, Cynthia, I noticed you did this. I noticed you said that. Is that part of your culture? Or could you teach me something about that? Or, be more, I don't know what the word I want to use, more tactful in the conversation, not sound so ignorant. When you say stuff like that, I'm like, wow, really? So it is difficult, but I don't have that many of those types of conversations. I don't. When I do, it's off something off wall like that. And I'm like, oh gosh, you could have just kept that to yourself, So.
Before I open it up to the audience to ask any questions that they might have, is there anything that you wanted to speak more about, or any questions you might even have? Does anybody in the audience have any questions that? Yeah.
I really want to thank you all for being here and opening up for the audience. I am glad that we're sitting in an educational institution. And one of the things that when we were talking about history and your reference to history, I come from a family of historians. My daughter's a high school English teacher. I taught history up here years ago. And one of the things that I found is that, and you know this, I didn't have any specific history training until I was in college when I took a Black history course. I was in college. If you go back and you look at the textbooks, you're not going to find a lot of in-depth history. So that was my question. My question is, how do you feel your own background has been as far as a student in our public education system to give you reflection of your own cultural history? It just seems like we know we've glossed over a lot of things and we've done a disservice to keep by doing that. I think the comments that you've made are just perfect, Cynthia, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That are perfect for that because it's something that people may not mean to be disrespectful, but they're not sure what they want to say because their background might be lacking as well. So I just wondered how your own background in your own education system, has treated the history of the Black culture. If you feel it's been good enough for lacking more.
Well, I went to school at a historical Black college, so of course, there was a lot of Black history there, but you are right, it is limited. But guess what? We didn't write the books. You know, I'm just saying, I'm just getting down to the grit of it, okay? And we were never put in positions as Black Americans to have the opportunity to tell our story, to be a part of history. And unfortunately, some of that is still happening. You know, when you're not treated as the majority, but as the minority, and have been in a suppressed situation for thousands of years, you know, how do we do that? How do we do that? And again, the change has to happen with us. It has to happen with us, you know, and I don't know when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen. When my son, I have a son that is 20, the baby is 26 years old. And I remember when he went to go get his first job, he was getting ready, and I had to talk to him about racism. And he says, Mom, I never knew anything about that. And that just kind of blew me away. And I just told him, I said, well, this, I'm just telling you because you might encounter this, because it is there, you know, and it is very sad that, you know, and not only just, I know we're talking about Black Americans because this is Black History Month, but this is for cultures right across the board. You know what I'm saying? We just never had the opportunity, and it is sad. But what can we do about it as a people? It cannot be just one. Again, we all have to stand and want better. We have to want better to be able to teach our children and our grandchildren that there's a different world out there. There are different cultures out there, different types of food, different types of way that we love and treat each other. You know, the way I express love might be different than someone in Africa might express love. You know what I'm saying? Or Christmas. I mean, basic things like that. And I just think as a people, we have to come together to say, okay, let's rewrite the books. I mean, what is that going to take? I mean, can you imagine standing up saying, you know what, we're going to do away with the history the way it is now, and we're going to rewrite the books. Wow, imagine that.
Do you think that the month, Black History Month, I think is trying to get some of that color to make people more aware?
Yeah, I think they are too. I mean, no, that's true though. I mean, there has been some progress. Let's not knock it. You know, there has been some progress, but we do have a long ways to go. We do have a long ways to go. And I think, you know, personally speaking, I just think that we as Americans, our minds are too closed. It's just too closed. We need to open up. You know, there's so much for us to learn from each other. So much more that can be developed, you know, as a people. Oh man, they always say America is the greatest country. But, you know, when you look at some of the things that we have done as Americans, are we really a great country? Are we really? We could do better. We could do better. Stop it. I'm talking.
Going back to the question she had, I don't know if there was an actual, we actually have like a African American history class here. That's a question.
Oh,
Do
do we have an African American history class here?
we?
I'm not certain if we do or not.
Yeah, so
That's a
That's a good
start.
question.
I think that would be a pretty
Yes,
good
sir.
start to actually, you know, actually have a African American history class to actually teach us about where we're coming from and our past. That would be a pretty good start. Yeah.
Any other questions anybody in the audience has? Yeah.
I have a question for her. So, since you've been here for almost a year,
Yes.
like, how do you feel about getting your car, driving alone on the street, or doing just or just like wearing or like walking to go to stores? Like, do you have any fear
as fear, I don't have fear. That I don't have being here. What I do have, um, maybe a little anxiety when I'm walking the streets of Glendale. I remember, I loved it. I had to do it. When I found out where I was, I said, let me walk the streets of Glendale and give them a real good shocking. And that's what I did. I got out, I said, because I have to learn my environment, right? So how am I going to learn it if I have to get out and learn it. So when I walked the street, it was amazing. It was amazing. You would think there was something that was on the street that no one has never seen before, And that, I was just really, I guess I was hoping to see some color too. I said, I can't be the only person here. Can't be, And when I found out that I was like, okay. And it's hard if you're coming from, like I said, I've been up and down the East Coast. I'm used to going to a McDonald's or a Burger King. Or if I want to go to a fine restaurant, I can go to a fine restaurant. If I want to go to a movie, I can just get in my car and go. If I want to go to Walmart, I don't have to drive 2 hours or an hour to go to Walmart. If I want to go to a big mall, I don't have to get on a plane. What? A plane? Really? A plane? Oh, wow. Man, let me tell you. Now, that has been the hard part for me, being not only just black, but my God, I don't have nowhere to go either. I mean, but you know what? I'm going to tell you, it helped me also. I must say it helped me also. It helped me to identify just really what I'm made of. You know what I'm saying? As a person. And I must say I made of some pretty good stuff because I've been okay right here in Glendale. It's just trying to find an outlet. I tell you, I'm church. I love church. Love church. And guess what? I found somebody to do my hair in Glendale. No, not Mary. I don't know. We got to talk after. But yeah, I found someone that could do my hair. I mean, I'm natural, of course. I'm natural. But when I found out, oh my God, I felt so warm and cozy. Ooh, I felt so warm and cozy. I said, wow, I'm gonna be okay. But you can't be fearful. It's just like any other town. You can't be fearful. If you want better, you got to make it better for yourself. You can't depend on your teammate, your room. Yes, they're great support. But if you want to do it, you're gonna have to get out there and do it yourself. That's my tip on that.
Additional questions from the audience? Yeah.
Did you approach the gallery putting your artwork in the gallery that you've done?
Sorry?
The gallery at downtown, our gallery, have you approached the gallery about putting your artwork, your displays
No.
down there where everybody is right on Main Street? You can see
Oh, that's
Black
nice.
history
That's
right
a
there
good-
on our gallery.
And, that's
I
a
would
great
love to see
idea.
it.
You were talking about how you did the Black History Month. That would be a good way to let people know it's Black History Month. Put the artwork on the streets, or anybody that would let them put it in front of their business. It's good
I
too.
was looking for people that were interested in displaying in the gallery, that's what I'm asking. Because that would be interesting to see the DCC artwork, period, but to see your artwork that from your culture would be awesome.
Yeah, they're really good. Yes. Yeah, actually, the real students.
Talk to Jen about it.
Yeah.
Any other additional questions from the audience? experience then.
Do you have anything you regret not saying to somebody when they said something to you that was discriminatory or racist?
I don't have anything I regret. I think I handled all my situation wrong, because that's how I was taught to.
I think we had a game like a couple of weeks ago in United Tribe. Yeah, we had a game couple of weeks ago in another tribe, and after the game, like one of the kids just turned around and he just landed a big N-word to my face. Like the first thing, like my mind that came was like, I was pretty upset. Like I was obviously not gonna fight him because some of my teammates actually hold me back. But like the first thing in my mind that came was like, you don't know me, so like you literally don't know anything about my culture or anything. And the first thing you have is like, and obviously in sport, I'm pretty sure a lot of us do. We talk a lot of crap to each other, but I don't think the first thing that has to come in your mind, even if you're talking crap to someone, is just like go out and just say the N word. So I think I did the right thing. I didn't get involved in arguing with him or anything. I think we just handled the right way. We got the win, obviously, and we just walk out on them like, see you later. That was really it. And obviously, you can go like about it other ways. A lot of people, I got a lot of friends back in Texas that actually got into a fist fight for getting called N-word by other non-black people, obviously. But I wouldn't say like is it wrong or right way because I mean I just understand like you definitely don't have the right at all to say that to someone. So the fact that he tried to stand up for that, that's I think that's the right thing. But involving yourself into a fist fight, I don't think is the right thing. The right thing you should do, the right thing the other person should do should not even mention it at all. That's just the simple fact. Just don't mention it. That's really.
I was going to say, I'm glad you asked that question because you really hit home with me with that question. It's very difficult for me, and being here, this is the first time I've ever even had to have that type of conversation with someone about racism, and it's not so much of racism is, I guess it is a form of racism, just not knowing what to say. And a couple of times it happened to me, it really threw me off because I really didn't know what to say. You know, I was like lost for words. And I said, well, you know, Cynthia, you know, Miss Talkie, you know, you got to find a way to deal with this because I always tell my kids, we teach people how to treat us. We teach them how to treat us. So this person, it's the same person that's always saying these comments. And I'm like, okay, you're going to have to do something about this, or this person is going to think it's okay to talk to you like that. And it took like 2 or 3 times, and I finally got it in my mind, you know, how I'm going, and I haven't done it. It's funny you asked that question. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it, and thank God I have a plan. Because sometimes, you know, my emotions, you know, I have a heart, I have feelings, so when people say stuff like that, it's hurtful. But I've been good for so long, I've changed so much. You know, I don't let words really hit me like they used to when I was younger, but I still have to set boundaries. And I said, you know what, Cynthia, you're going to have to set boundaries with this young lady. And I've already got a plan. But I had to think about it because I didn't know how to talk to this person about it. It's not easy.
Sorry, we can't hear you up here.
So today, like, if everyone wants to hold you, what would be the best account to be put on if you need to know? If you don't have what you need to know, to have people ready.
Be an example. Be an example. Be an example of what you want to see. Be that example. You know, if you want to be, you want to see things change, be that example. You know, we're good about talking about stuff. Oh, yes, we can tell people, you know, but how many of us go out and really show people? You know, it's not what you talk about. They say, you got, I don't know, I'm probably ancient. Be about it. Be about it. You know,
I must say, it's hard to set boundaries, and at what age did you learn to set boundaries?
oh, wow.
Because
Okay, let
I
me,
was quite young.
this goes way back. Now we're gonna go way back in time. Okay. It started with me at home with my mother and my father. I came from a broken home. I seen my mother abused physically, mostly emotionally. And I said, I will never ever allow anybody, you know, to mistreat me. Now, I feel that I have a humble spirit, but when it comes to the point where you are hurting me and mine, or you are not representing who I am, I have to take a stand on that. I have to take a stand. You, and I guess I learned that as time went on, because as everything is it's a progression. It's a process. We learn nothing. We're not born with anything but breath. You know, so everything that we learn in life is a process. I have a lot of young women. Miss Cynthia, how did you get there? I said, well, if you had seen me 20 years ago, you would have seen a different person. You know, we are all in process, and I think it is so important, especially as young people. You know, the people you hang out with, the places that you go, does that represent you, who you really are? You know, and so boundaries, you have to learn what those are. You have to learn what your boundaries are. There's some things you might say, well, I thought that I could handle that. Well, I can't handle that. I can't do that. You know.
So are you more likely to be a protector of other people?
What? I'm a nurse. What?
So what I'm trying to say is, I really have empathy for this gal over here who is young,
Mm-hmm.
and the boundaries are going to be hard for her to set.
Yes.
And that's what I'm trying to get
Yes,
across.
ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm so
I'm not
sorry.
trying to be aggressive to
No,
you
I
or
know.
anything, but
No,
I'm just
I know
trying
you're not trying to be aggressive to me, and I'm hoping I'm not sounding aggressive to
No,
you.
no.
What I'm trying to say is that as far as the protector, we all need one, right? So, and then we're not going to always be with mom and daddy, right? So, as far as a protector, I am a protector. I've always been a protector ever since I was a child. My mother used to tell me, now I know, but she said, Cynthia, why do you always have to help the underdog? I've been that way all my life. I've been that way all my life. And I think it's a good character to have. I think it is. You know, we should all be protectors of one another. You know, that's what I feel. I mean, this young lady here, I'm sensing that, well, she's not really feeling safe. She really is not free. You got to learn how to be free in your environment. And only you're going to be able to find that. You got to learn how to be free in your environment. And that comes with knowing who you are and surrounding yourself with like people that's going the same way you're going, trying to achieve the same thing you're trying to achieve.
Any other questions from the audience? discussed a lot tonight and listened to a lot of different ideas. Thank you for telling me different perspectives and stories in your lives. I want to leave everyone with this thought, and thank you for being open and engaging and learning more about each other and your neighbors. This wasn't planned, but it's about Rosa Parks.
What?
Yes. So Rosa Parks, she took a stand by sitting down. On December 1st of 1955, the 42-year-old seamstress was coming home from her job at Montgomery Fair Department Store on the Cleveland Avenue bus in Montgomery, Alabama, when the bus driver James Blake told her to move to the back of the bus so that a white person could take her seat. Technically, Parks wasn't sitting in the first 10 rows, which were reserved for white people. But as the bus got crowded, the driver had expanded the section for white people and asked everyone in Parks Row to move back. Everyone in Parks Row moved back, but Parks sat still. That defiance landed her in jail, but also set her on a trajectory as one of the most influential civil rights activists in American history. Remember what one person can do to make change ideas, and support each other. If you see it, stand up and be the voice for others. I want to take a moment to thank our panelists, our audience, and all of you here who are engaged. We learn by dialoguing, talking, and learning from each other. Please go and continue those conversations. Sit down, have a meal with somebody. It doesn't have to be in a large group. Talk to somebody. Pull somebody aside and learn about their life and their experience. Thank you all for being here tonight. We do have some snacks that are available outside of the auditorium if you give me a second to grab them. But feel free to continue the conversation among each other and to thank the panelists or ask them any other questions you might have.
Home game tomorrow at 7:30. Pull up. And the women game, sorry.